Rossstar, tonight is a good night to be watching because we have on the show Stitched Up Heart. Not waste any more of your time. Let's get him on the show. Hey,
Hi.
what's up?
So it's just me right now. I realized that Merritt was he's almost done with the guitar lesson. So you just get
I will
me.
not.
I'm
I will
sorry.
not cry about it. I won't cry about it. Even though you guys have come to every interview pretty much together, I think every single time.
I know he follows me around. He's like my little pet puppy.
Probably your only puppy. As far as I know, all your pets are cats, right?
Yeah, you know what? It's a little crazy right now. We have a lot of cats happening.
Can you show us like
So
the cats in the background, or
well, I could
are you in a catless
introduce you
room?
to the kittens if you want to
I
meet
mean,
them.
this is a live show. We should do that. That's something fun
Do
and
you want to
different.
meet the kittens? Okay, we'll go over. First
That's all
off,
I want to do in life.
is meet kittens. I know. So obviously, when the whole COVID thing happened, I foster bottle baby kittens, as you know,
Awesome.
and so I take in like, you know, babies that were sent to the shelter that don't have a mom and that they can't feed them regular food just yet, so they need to be bottle fed. So I have created a kitten room.
Oh my goodness. Look at that.
This is Callie. She's a sweet little calico. She's about a month old. She's weaned onto wet food now. Hey, girl.
This is amazing.
She is such a sweetie. I absolutely love her.
So you don't keep any of these cats? You just raise them until a certain age, and then you give them to people that want them full time?
Yeah. I mean, if I kept all the fosters, I would have at least 35 cats.
How do you
So
not cry every time, or do you cry a little bit
yeah,
every time?
I pretty much every time I cry, this one's gonna be really rough because she's just so pretty.
So why don't you just keep that one then? No one knows yet that they're available. No one would ever know you kept her
Well,
or him.
these are actually foster kittens. I'm watching for a different foster mom
Oh, okay.
while she's on vacation. She'll know.
Well, you're always on tour, so this is like the most time you've probably spent with a cat.
Yeah, so whenever we're in between tours or when we're in writing phase, I usually try to foster. If I know I have at least 2 months at home and I'm gonna be home, I'll bring
Yeah.
them to the studio. I bring them pretty much everywhere. They come around with me in like little bags, and when they're this small, they're not allergenic, so you don't have an allergic reaction. Oh, Merritt's done with his guitar lesson. Come in the kitten
Oh, here he
room,
comes.
Merritt.
Hello.
Yeah.
Well,
What's up,
well,
old
it was
friend?
more like a dubstep lesson.
A
but-
dubstep lesson?
Hey, what's up?
How's it going? Good to see you this way through the phone.
I know, it's crazy.
I wanted to meet the cats because I know you guys go live a lot on your own, so I feel like a lot of questions people have already asked you, but they probably haven't seen these new cats yet. So I wanted to start off with the cats.
Okay. You want to ask
So
the
we got
cat a
Callie.
question?
That's one.
Oh, you want to know how many?
I want to see the rest.
Oh, okay. There's this one. This is Bruno. You can't see him. Okay, I got it.
Yeah.
I'm like, here,
See a
you want
bunch
to
of
hold
poop.
it?
They in the
There's
laundry
Bruno.
basket? Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Look at that.
It is actually really genius because when they're small enough, they can't figure out how to get out of it, so you can bring them around.
That is
That's
smart.
Alistair.
Oh, I didn't even
He's
see the
cute.
cat is so small. I didn't even notice it. Wow.
He's tiny.
That's amazing. Look
So
how big the
these two-
unicorn is, like compared to the
Oh
cat.
yeah, I know. That's their little,
Wow.
I don't know, comfort friend. So these two are brother and sister. This one is actually younger, but he is such a fluffy little guy. He's actually weighs more than them, but he's like a week younger than them. He's a different litter, even though you'd think
So
that
how
he would
old?
be brothers.
How old were they when you picked them up from the shelter?
So
Wherever you go.
I don't know when she actually got them because these are a different person's kittens. She went out of town for like 2 weeks, so
Oh, okay. You're watching someone else's
I'm
kittens.
babysitter, yeah. So and these are mine. This is Moon.
Oh, look at that. Wow.
He's a big old floofy. I have a thing for fluffy kitties, and this is Star. They're like twins.
Well, look at that.
She's
So-
the original OG. I've had her for 14 years. he's only like 5, but yeah. So I got her a friend for whenever we go on tour because I didn't want to leave her alone. And Galaxy's around here somewhere. He's usually
Look, if you just tuned in and you don't like cats, this is not the show for you.
yeah. This is if you don't like cats, then I would just exit now.
But
I don't
wait
know
like
that.
another 120 seconds.
Right. Okay. And then okay. So this is the funniest thing. We just moved into this place. We moved all our band equipment into it, which has been awesome because we can like practice here. We're gonna throw a small little private show
What?
/ barbecue in the backyard, but we've got like our gear all set up.
Wow, look at this space.
Yeah, it's actually kind of nice. Right next to the kitchen. Got our monster fridge. That's necessary. You need that in life. And of course the helmet. Moon, he comes to practice every time. It's pretty awesome.
Is it not dangerous for their little cat ears when you're playing full band?
Well, Decker, our drummer, is actually watching his parents right now because they're older and they need a little assistance. So he's in Pennsylvania, and he's flying in on the 27th. We'll sit down over here so we can stop moving everything around.
I was about to ask you to give me some impromptu drumming, actually.
Well, I don't know if you noticed the setup on the drum kit.
No,
It's been a while since I set up drums, but it's very, very well done.
I just wanted to see if you could even play the drums. I've never seen you do that before.
You want me to play the drums?
Yeah, just like for fun, like really quick.
I'll do it. Granted, there's no carpet underneath it, so I'm only going to play for like a second. You really want to see that shit?
Yes. Have you not
All right.
done my show like 100 times? I'm super random, you know this.
You can put it. It's all a mess. Yeah.
If you just tune in, we're live with Stitched Up Heart, getting a tour of their house / practice space.
It's not set
I see
up
another
right yet.
unicorn. I'm making her play drums on the spot. It's the kind of show I like to do, completely random, but fun.
Oh my god, that's loud.
That's actually really good. Welcome back.
Simple. That was so simple. It's not the best. I'm not like a drummer.
That's why I wanted you to play, because it's fun.
Look at this one I set up. I think that was the best.
There's another
That's
unicorn.
right?
Wait, I
That's
see
right.
2 unicorns. Wow,
Oh yeah, the unicorns have been playing since Decker's not here.
that's fantastic.
Was it loud?
Probably louder on your end.
I am not a drummer, but it is fun to beat on skins.
I just think it's cool that you love cats so much, because you'll see a lot of celebrities and artists, and they'll take a picture with a koala if they're in Australia, but that's like the only time they see the animal. But then they post that photo like every year. But you're like really involved, which is really nice.
Oh yeah, we were hanging out with kangaroos yesterday.
Yeah,
I saw that.
So it's actually a mutual friend of ours. She had told me about this rescue because, I don't know, rescue people that are in animal rescue always end up meeting each other and finding each other. But
That's cool.
It's like they have monkeys and kangaroos and armadillos and ferrets and what else? Foxes and wolves and stuff. It was really, really neat. But the zoning that they live in, that they've been in for years and years and years, they just literally yesterday while we were at the place zoned it to be illegal to have all those animals there.
That sucks.
So now they have to find a whole new place for like 65 animals or something. And it's really cool because the monkeys, I couldn't really touch the monkeys because they have the same immune system as humans. And with the whole COVID thing right now, it's probably, they could get it just as easily as a person,
Yes.
We don't want any lemurs that are very, very, almost extinct to get their primates also, apparently. I didn't know that, but yeah, we don't want them to get
Am I wrong? Am I wrong? I feel like I learned recently that lemurs are like one of the oldest animals, and that a lot of other animals are evolved from the lemur. I feel like there's like a deep history with that.
I don't know
with
much
the
about
lemur
lemurs.
specifically.
That was the first time I ever seen one.
Ah.
You do this weird little, like, if you watch on our Instagram, I posted on the band page on Instagram TV or something. After this, you can watch it. And the lemur like made this, you go like, and then it makes this crazy scream noise. Like it's like in a death metal band. It's pretty fucking awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You never know. There is that what's that, Hate Beak? They have that one metal band with the bird singer. So you never know.
Oh my God.
I'm not making this up
have you seen
either.
any of those videos with the metal cats? Like
No,
the cats.
like joking. Well, no, they're actually. I'm talking about Hate Beak is a real band, but they actually have an actual parrot singer. So everybody watching, look that up after you guys see on YouTube. Hate Beak.
I got.
I mean, it's not like something I listen to like on Friday night for fun, but I know it exists and I appreciate it for existing.
Somebody said you just did the Cardi B. What's the Cardi B?
I guess the impression of the lemur, the metal roar. I'm not sure.
Is that a thing?
Well, anyway, now that you're situated and we're seated, hello. Thanks for joining me. I'm excited that you guys are here
Thanks
again.
for having us.
Last time we hung out was 2016 in Hollywood at Meltdown Comics. Rest in peace. It's no longer there. And I stopped doing this for 3 years because there was no outlet, because Instagram and Facebook, created the live function and kind of eliminated the need for me. But now that you can do split screen, I've wanted to get back into it. So I thought of you. And here you are.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's this whole entire thing, especially with the COVID and everything like that, it's been very interesting how interviews are. I feel like some interviews I would normally get are either like just typed up on email or phone. But now it's just so easy to be like, hey, you're over there. I can't get across town, but let's just hook up on Instagram and do an interview and chill,
I guess when the COVID started, I was watching people doing interviews with other people, and they were new and they were just starting out. And I said, man, this makes me miss it so badly. I'm just going to do it again. And so I've been reaching out to people like you guys who I've known through the years. So it's not like a whole process. I don't have to email a manager who then writes to the band, and then they write the manager back, and then the manager writes to me. I'm just going direct to the source. So had Less Than Jake on, the Ataris, a bunch of great bands. Been doing it since March, I guess, pretty much since COVID started. And now I'm addicted again. You know how it goes. Can't stop.
The first band I ever saw live was Less Than Jake.
I feel like that's a lot of people's answer. Was it awesome? Do you remember like any details about that?
I remember very, very clearly. It was at UCF in Orlando. Around about heroin on stage, and my dad was like, "You're never going to see this band again."
That's like their thing. Everything's a joke with Less Than Jake. It's so much fun.
Yeah, and I was like, "No, Dad, I don't do that stuff."
And they're from Florida, so I imagine their crowds were probably always like really big there early on.
Yeah, maybe that's why it was such a big thing back, just like that ska kind of punk era.
But that wasn't what inspired you to start your own band. But you did have a good time, I'm sure.
Yeah, actually, I mean, around that time was when I decided to pick up a guitar.
Really?
At 15. Yeah, I think my concert, I might have been in middle school, but I think I was in middle school. So it was right after that. I liked ska and stuff because I played the tuba for 3 years, and so I really enjoyed the brass section.
Yep.
And I don't know what it was about it, but I liked brass instruments. And maybe it was just the people around me listened to that stuff. So, I don't know, it's cool.
Do you have a tuba on you? Can you play some tuba right now?
God, I really wish I had a tuba. Every time.
You don't have it anymore?
Wow.
No, I don't. I haven't been that lucky. Why, do you play tuba but only at the NAMM show every year?
No, but like, it's the only section or the only areas that get me to stop and stare is like the tubas.
That's
I don't
cool.
know why, but I'm just like, oh, it's so beautiful.
Did you ever use it for any of your early projects, even when you were just doing your own music?
Well, actually, I play with some little stuff like Logic. I think the first time he was showing me how to use Logic, I just tried to make like tubas throughout the whole thing, but it's a little too much bass, and then everything kind of disappears.
You just really like tubas.
I don't know why they're okay. So like, it's just the weirdest instrument. Like, it's just the weirdest thing. And when I first started middle school, it was like, if they had a guitar, I probably would have fell in love with that. I did that at 15. I fell in love with the guitar and put the tuba down. But yeah, I don't know. It's just so weird, and I like weird shit.
Were your parents excited?
I can't wait. Yeah. Were they excited about me playing the tuba?
Well, you switched to guitar. Were they happy that you switched? Less annoying?
I don't think that they had a real opinion about it. I don't think, as long as I was still playing softball and getting good grades, it doesn't matter what I did.
There's a guy or a kid across the way here in the complex, and he's probably in middle school, and he plays the recorder. He practices that every day, and he has not gotten better in like 3 years, let me tell you. He plays the same song, and it always sounds terrible. Hopefully he's not watching this. But
I just got my dad for Father's Day. He just picked up a guitar a year ago. He just started learning.
Yeah.
And I got him a shirt that says "World's Okayest Guitar Player" for
That's
Father's
funny.
Day.
well, does he know this yet? It's not. I mean, we're still 2 weeks away.
Well, it came a little early.
Okay.
I expected, because Amazon's so slow right now, I expected it to be late, and I forgot his birthday last year, so I have to make up for it and get everything early.
I got out of any Father's or Mother's Day gifts this year because my parents are so worried about COVID. They don't even want me to mail them anything to their house, so I don't have to get them anything.
Oh, wow.
And I
Gift
get to send
cards,
an
e-gifts.
I'm sending an e-card, yeah, like
E-card.
123egreetings.com. Here's your card. Because my dad's old school. He normally likes like a real card, which I don't know if you've bought a real card in a while, but you go to like CVS, greeting cards are like $5.99 for the cheapest card with nothing in them. Like basic card,
I bet you can buy
$5.99.
them in bulk on Amazon.
That's probably a good idea. That's a new thing you guys can do. It's stitched up our like greeting cards, old school. I don't think anybody does that.
You know what we are doing? We're going to have like a little, very, very private backyard barbecue show that
Oh, you
we're
said that
probably going to
earlier.
get in trouble for.
Well, if everybody stands 6 feet apart and you have no more than what was it? No more than 20 people, but you can have 100 people in a protest, which makes no sense.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
we moved to Riverside County, so the laws are a little different here. I think they're a little more relaxed on stuff. Like it's not mandatory to wear a mask anywhere anymore.
Wow.
Which is really nice, and it's not that far from you guys, but you're still in LA County, right?
I'm in the same place. Actually, that's
Yeah.
a smart decision you made because you can actually live in a house if you live not in LA County.
Exactly.
That's a perk.
No HOA, and we pay less. Our little apartment in Santa Monica that was 386 square foot cost
Ugh.
$2,000 a month to rent. This
Yeah.
2,000 square foot house is $2,100 a month. 4 bedrooms.
And now that you moved out, that Santa Monica apartment is probably $3,000, right?
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once you
Actually,
moved
I
out,
think
they have to.
it went up every year like $100. So in like 5 years, $2,500 a month. And I don't know how we did it, but somehow we got into a house, and it was awesome.
Well, you guys are close enough. I mean, you're near everything, and you're also closer to Palm Springs and to Las Vegas and Morongo and all that other good stuff if you wanted to go there.
Yeah. Arizona.
People watching probably
San
think these
Diego
prices
is
are
like-
outrageous.
Yeah, San Diego's a little closer. Big Bear's closer. It's only like an hour to Big Bear, which is kind of nice. So if we
Yeah.
wanted to go snowboarding.
And realistically, except for this year, you're usually not home that much anyway that you need to be paying $2,000 a month for Santa Monica. Really, it's kind of like a waste of money, you know?
It's crazy, but I mean, that was a deal in that area because Santa Monica's
Yeah.
expensive. But yeah, I mean, we got out like a month before all the riots happened, literally in our backyard. We were watching it from TV. I mean, you're probably in the thick of all of everything that's going on down there, right?
I'm okay. Or in Culver City, we've been untouched so far. Somehow, no one comes over
Culver.
to this area. Yeah, no one comes to
Yeah.
this area. We're off the map.
Well, I got onto these silly, I don't know, neighborhood watch apps that they have.
Oh,
so
yeah.
like see
Citizen.
what's going on in the area. There's a lot of 55 up communities and stuff, so they're all
Cute.
like, what kind of flowers are the best to plant right now? But so when all that stuff was happening, every time out here, people just light off fireworks for no reason. They just light them off. And people are
That's fun.
constantly like, was that a gunshot? Nope, just a firework. Somebody's else like, oh, now was that a gunshot? Nope, that was just a firework also. So,
Are you on a
that's fun.
Citizen? That's a good app to join. Citizen, they tell you everything that's going on.
Ooh, Citizen. I'm on Nextdoor. And
Oh no, those are like friendly ones. Citizen, they keep it real. They'll tell you man attacking people on street with frying pan, woman wielding bat on street corner. It's like really wild, the things that you read on there, and they're all accurate because they'll back it up with photos or video of like someone will film it like secretly, like someone will just be like throwing nunchucks around in the middle of Hollywood Boulevard, and they'll just put it up on Citizen.
sounds like LA.
Riverside, yeah, there'll be like a
No,
a possum,
seriously,
a possum across the street.
we're in the suburbs now. Like I don't wake up to fire trucks anymore. I wake up to like birds yelling at each other. It's
Do you
crazy.
have any friends over there though? Like any other bands you guys hang out with, or you don't really have time?
Well, we have a roommate, our bus driver. We actually moved
What?
him in. He's this Scottish bloke from Boise, Idaho, of all
Huh.
places.
Okay.
But we hired him to drive the bus on tours, and he's just so cool and fun to listen to his accent. So we were like, you want to just move into one of the rooms? Like, so we have some friends.
I have a Scottish friend also. We talk every day, and I just like hearing him talk also. It's fun. I like the accent.
Yeah, I like the accent too, and they love to talk, so that works out for both of us.
So where's the bus behind? Is it in the backyard?
We rent RVs. However,
That's
if
fun.
we wanted to, we could put an RV in our driveway, and there's no HOA, and they wouldn't yell at us. But in LA County,
No, you can't do that. No.
you can't put an RV anywhere for more than 2 days. People freak out.
I think they charge you now. People live in the RVs out here. I think you have to pay now to live in your RV, which is weird. It's your own car, but taking up a
Yeah.
street spot, I get it.
And you still have to move it every, 72 hours or something.
Oh yeah, I used to go to Hollywood all the time, and I would, one side of the street would be like 8 a.m. Monday, and then the same side of the street, 2 cars up, would be Tuesday, and I wouldn't look at the sign, and I would get a ticket. So many tickets out there for the street sweeping. You probably don't have to worry about that now either out there.
There's
tons of
so
parking.
much. You could park on the sidewalk. You wouldn't need to because there's so much room to park.
Is there a venue out there if you wanted to play a show not in your backyard? Do they have any venues that have regular size shows?
That I don't know. Everything's been closed pretty much, but it's also a farming community.
This is awesome.
There's a lot of dairy farms and equestrians, like horses and stuff out here. We're gonna find out. I know that the neighbors to this side, the mom, there's like kids, and then there's the mom, and she was wearing a Misfits t-shirt. So I figured that maybe we'll fit in, and her kid looks like he's a little metalhead. So we're gonna invite the neighbors to our little backyard barbecue show. We just picked up our barbecue today, by the way. It is fucking happening. But
He might have a new client to give some more dubstep lessons to.
Yeah, there we go.
You just don't know.
Yeah.
Well, okay, let's talk about this show. I mean, before it gets shut down, let's just tell everybody at once. This is an invite only or a contest, or how do they get to this backyard show? Or you don't know yet?
I only invited my Patreons, which
Okay.
Most of them are all over the world, so a lot of them can't quite get here. And it is required they get tested before they come, so that if they're coming from out of state. Then there's like a few people from LA. We're, an hour and a half out of the city. So it's way too far for anybody in LA to go. Like, you got to be crazy to go an hour and a half out of the city. But so only really the people that really, really care. We might live stream it. That all depends on how the sound quality is, because I just think that the live streaming is destroying the live shows because it sounds like crap.
I was going to say, I watched a few of my favorite bands do acoustic, and it's not that great.
It's just the recording quality is horrible. And we did some small little acoustic things on Facebook Live with a phone, and it just, there was one time I was singing way up here and all you could hear was me. then I'm singing way back here on the next one, and all you can hear is them. You can't hear
Yep.
me, so it's like.
Exactly.
But we're gonna see what it sounds like and do like a sound check with the audio and see how it is. If it's something that needs to be mixed a little, we might just record it and film it and like release it once it's mixed in properly. But I'm just a weirdo about sound quality. You know, I don't want it to be.
I mean, yeah, that's not a weirdo. That's like actually something important. So I think that's cool that you care that much.
Yeah. So.
Do you have? Well, I don't want you to have to get up, but do you have in the backyard? Is there anything back there right now? Like, can you show us? Do you have like a pool, an inflatable pool, or like a movie screen? Do you like projection screen?
There's 3 kittens.
Outside too?
By the way, who are not mine. They are just, we moved in and they must have been born while we were in escrow. I've done a lot of work on the backyard because it used to, from the previous owners, it had a huge hole in the ground because there was a pool. But so.
Ooh, look at that.
So it'll stage of.
Oh, now we're going to lose you.
And I'm thinking maybe like 50 people. We're going to have a barbecue over under that. Maybe 50 people max. Now this is where the pool used to be. But we put sod in. It's already dying because we're in the desert. And look at my flowers. They're doing great.
This is great. I mean, if they really close like a lot of venues because of this COVID, people are going to start doing things like what you're doing, having these backyard shows anyway. I'll wait till you come back. Now it's rebuffering. Sorry. You still there? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, honestly.
I was going to say the Wi-Fi is killing it out there. I guess come back in.
Yeah, I'm coming in. Sorry.
I was going to say, if it's, I mean, every news article, it's hard to tell if it's true or not, but if venues really do close, I think people will start doing like do-it-yourself shows, like in backyards and places that you wouldn't normally see a show. So you might be onto something before anybody else even thinks of doing that.
Yeah, I mean, we have all the equipment we need. We're actually going to have our sound guy come and mix the sound. He has a bunch of like drum mics and subs and stuff we could use, so we could try to get as best quality as we can.
Yeah.
And try to be as careful as possible. And since in Riverside you don't have to wear masks, I don't know. We'll find out if we get in trouble. I'll let you know on July 5th.
Are you doing it July 4th? Is that the plan?
I figured that would be the perfect time because everybody else is going to be having barbecues and parties in their backyard.
That's true. What? That sounds awesome. So,
you know, like, I'm not going to be the only one causing trouble.
So where are the other 2 guys? They have to fly in, or they just live in LA still, or where are they located?
Randy's in Los Angeles, so he's like an hour and a half from us.
Yeah.
And then Decker is in Pennsylvania.
Weird.
Taking care of his parents.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, his mom just had her gallbladder removed, and you know, they're in their 70s and they're falling down a lot.
Hey, well, where was he living normally before he went back to Pennsylvania?
Well, it used to be a weed growing room in a garage.
Is that where he was living, in the garage?
In Sylmar, California.
Oh, Sylmar. Sylmar is really cheap too. They have like houses there for like $100,000, like 5 bedrooms. I've seen it on Zillow. I've looked.
It's a land lease. Look it up. You'll have to pay, or you don't get to own the land. I've looked.
You've seen it, yeah. I always look on Sylmar as the one that comes up as the cheapest always.
$160,000 for the house, but you have to rent the land. Look at it closely. It's like $2,000 a month.
No thanks.
Something stupid. I looked into it, believe me, because I wanted to stay in LA, and it just didn't work out that way.
I mean, you wanted to stay in California. You could have gone anywhere, I guess, really. But you guys need to be here for business.
Yeah, I mean, writing sessions, like when we go to the studio, sometimes we go somewhere else, like band practice. Our management's out in LA. It's like there's so many people that we know and have built relationships with out in LA, and it's kind of like, yeah, like we can't move to Florida and just drive to LA when we need to, you know?
Well, you cracked the code, because a lot of musicians who I know, and you probably know, moved, you know, to places like Nashville because it was a lot cheaper, but they didn't probably think of living in Riverside like you did. So that's a smart idea. They wanted to stay in California.
We thought about Nashville too, but I'll be honest, I'm not really a big fan of country, and most of it is country out there. I appreciate the musicianship a lot, but I just don't. I'm not that Southern.
No, Florida's its own thing anyway. You're still
Yeah,
Southern,
I
but
think
not like that.
I think, like our producer, I actually just flew out to Indiana because they bought a $500,000 house in Fort Wayne.
It's like 100 bedrooms.
Freaking huge house. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just massive, brand new. Like it, you know how like cars have new car smell?
Yeah.
This house had like new house smell. It was like all brand new.
Awesome.
But yeah, and he moved out there because he had a kid, and his wife's family, she grew up there, so they wanted to be near them. So, buying a house in LA, the place that we got here is probably like a $2 million house in the valley.
Yep.
So
And
it's
in 10 years, Riverside might be the place to be. Who knows?
there's a lot of new builds and new houses out here, so I have a feeling it'll go up, and I'm working on it and trying to make it prettier.
And right now, if you had to drive here, it wouldn't take you an hour and a half because there's like nobody on the road still. I mean, sort
Yeah.
of, not really. So you can get wherever you want really quickly.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what it's going to be like when people are allowed to drive.
What have you guys done? I mean, just go to the grocery store. Have you done anything out there like hiking or like what else do you do besides music all day?
He
That's all I
only
do.
does music.
That's all I do.
That is all he does. He's been working on a video game, right?
What?
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell me more about that.
yeah.
That's a
It's
big
like,
deal.
It's basically. I mean, it's just like from an independent developer, and it's called Old School Racer, and I think they have like an Indiegogo or something account, but it's basically just like a racing game. And the guy just hit me up and he was like, "Yo, man, I like your music. You want to write me some tracks?" And it's basically like 80s, 90s kind of vibe tracks. So like anything from like New Order to like The Prodigy, you know.
Cool.
So, yeah, so it's pretty cool. So
I've been hearing the same loop of this. Ding, 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 ding,
Yeah.
ding.
I used to love those games, Off-Road and Super Sprint and all those 80s and 90s Nintendo games, all the car ones. Then Cruising USA was always fun in the arcade, so
yeah,
that was good too. Even Crazy Taxi was good.
Yeah, it's very similar to like the Cruising USA stuff. So I've been doing that, and then just like writing some demo stuff for us, and like experimenting, doing like sound design and messing around with things and figuring things out and learning stuff, and
He was reading me a book yesterday on our way to play with monkeys.
That's not reading it to you.
I had no freaking idea what it said. It was, explain it.
No, it was just this book, and
He's a nerd.
It was talking about the theory about like the different extended techniques that you would use musically for scoring to a film. So like it gets really, really nerdy. It talks about things that musicians probably don't really know a lot about, like pan-diatonicism and
Panditonicism?
yeah, and like
I don't know.
yeah,
He speaks a different language.
What?
It's
I don't know what that means either.
yeah, it's just like crazy, like, so it's like, because you have a visual, right? So you have that character's theme, and then able to make that character's theme with this other character's theme like make sense in a storytelling way. Musically, you have to do all these crazy different things that the picture is sort of dictating to you. So it's not like writing a song. It's not like,
Yeah.
I'm going to write lyrics about this person breaking up with me. Here's a verse and a chorus. It's kind of like when that bad guy and that villain are fighting, when the bad guy is sort of like winning, then their theme will like be a little bit more prominent, and then the good guy theme is like kind of underneath it, and then like, so you have to do all this creative stuff musically, and so it goes into like a lot of these really 20th century sort of techniques about how to tell stories. And I was basically reading these passages, and it was like done by some like dude that has a doctorate and is like a professor and all this. And so a lot of the language is a little bit verbose. So,
Verbose.
Oh, Mary, you're so deep.
Verbose.
yeah.
Verbose. Wow.
He's the smart person.
Got Mr. Feeney up in here. It's awesome. I was noticing, I didn't play games for years since like Super Nintendo, but we bought a Switch a year ago, and I don't know if other systems do this, but I've noticed that a lot of independent games are on there for Switch. I don't know what the licensing is like, but I feel like you make one of these independent games and Switch will put it on there and sell it, and you could buy it and play it on Switch. There's like a whole section of all these great games that like are made by independent game designers. I think that's really cool. They do that. I guess similar to like, Spotify or whatever, just putting your music on there. You don't need a label. Same thing with Nintendo Switch now as independent games. It's really cool.
That's so awesome. Yeah, there's so many people are being really creative on releasing games or how the platforms are being released. Like even for like since this whole pandemic thing, it's like all of a sudden, oh, there's no more concerts. So,
Everybody plays video games.
Yeah. So, but like all these people
Except for you.
that work in the entertainment industry, they're all creative. Like they're either creative like with music or they're creative with marketing. They're really creative people. And so all of a sudden this entire industry just stopped, and like, so now there's no more live stuff. So now all these creative people are coming up with these new creative ways to, stream or to play shows or like whatever it is. So even with the video game world, people are just getting more and more creative on how they release things, how things are made. It's really cool. It's really fast.
I don't do the online gaming, but was it Fortnite? I've never played it. I think one of the famous DJs did like a set in Fortnite, like a live set while people were playing during this pandemic. I thought that was really cool and different.
Yeah, I don't really do too much online gaming except for WoW. We kind of got into a WoW thing.
Yeah, we got sucked into World of Warcraft as soon as this thing hit.
Oh, wow.
I just disappeared into game mode. We played Classic for a bit and retail.
Okay.
But now, like, my management's like, hey, you should start a Twitch and do video games and stuff. And I'm like, now you're making it a job. Like, I use my video games to, like, escape the whole world.
Yeah.
And,
I get it.
And if I'm going to die a whole bunch, I don't want everybody to watch me die.
I just think people are looking for anything. You put out your record, what was like probably the last day that anybody was allowed to do anything fun, right? Was it March 13th?
Yeah.
Literally March 13th, Friday the 13th, we released our album. And that same day, we had to postpone our tour until hopefully the fall. Hopefully the fall.
My buddy went to Vegas from New York for 311 Day, and they did it. They played all weekend, and that was like the last big show on Earth, I think, was 311 weekend.
Wow.
How sad.
Yeah, we had 10 festivals. We had Welcome to Rockville, Metallica, Godsmack and stuff. They also were doing some North Carolina festival. My dad was going to be there. I remember it was May 9th or 10th, one of those. About 10 festivals, and everything's been pushed till next year. So I'm hoping that they'll put us on next year too. Like, hey, we'd still like to be on the bill.
Was Sebastian Bach? I think I saw that one also, right?
Yeah, Sebastian Bach was the one that was supposed to go in March. Literally the entire time we've been in quarantine was the tour. So we pushed it till fall.
You have a good team to get all these cool shows. Every time I see like a festival, you're always on it, which is great. So you have a good team behind you for sure. You're you're everywhere.
Yeah, it takes a village.
So people watching, you can send questions now. We've got like 20 minutes. See if anybody has anything they want to talk to us about, anything going on in their world. Also, of course, always let us know where you're watching from. I love finding out where people are tuning in from. I don't know. I've always liked that. I say this every show. I never do podcasting because I like the live aspect. I like talking to you, and I like talking to people at home. Podcasting puts me to sleep. I know that's like the big thing now, and I probably would have been like way more successful in life if I did it early on. But I'm an old man set in my ways. I like the live.
He listens to podcasts like nobody's business.
It's accessible. When I was doing the show, 10, 15 years ago, you had to be on a network like Stick'em or like iTunes to get a show. Now you don't need to. So people are just you don't need anything. You just need the equipment and just upload it to wherever. So it's good,
Yeah.
Hi from Roanoke, Virginia.
Yeah, we were supposed to play there, or hopefully we're still playing Roanoke, or it might have been one of the ones that changed.
Ryan O'Hick says, your tattoos, do they have a musical theme? That could be for either of you.
You do, for sure.
Oh,
If
yeah.
you want to get into details about that.
Oh my God. Kitty.
Kitty! Meow. I want to cuddle.
Show us the musical tats.
Oh man. Okay.
While he punches me in the face.
It's really just this one.
That looks like a math equation. What is that?
So it's basically a chord progression chart.
That's
So
really detailed, yeah.
Yeah, so like with classical music, there's like theory, but like behind what chords go to what chords. And when I would compose, sometimes I would like not remember, so I just decided to tattoo it on my arm.
A chord progression chart on his arm.
Yeah.
I mean, someone somewhere's probably tattooed like their Facebook password on their arm so they don't forget it. I forget every freaking time I try to buy or rent a movie on Apple TV. Every time I forget the password, and I have to go back and reset it. I don't think I've ever once in 5 years remembered the freaking Apple TV password. And now I can't reuse the same password. They make you change it, so it's completely random what I think of. And I'm like, oh, this will be the one I won't forget. And then I forget it the next day. So I'm gonna have to get it tattooed on my arm next time I reset the password. That's the only way to do it.
That's
You're
awesome.
onto something. Kevin Patterson said, what happened to your tour bus with the broken engine? Did you ever get it fixed? Or did
Oh,
you get one?
yeah. Somebody brought that up recently. What was it? 4 or 5 years ago, maybe. We bought one of those shuttle buses that, you use from the airport or something, and they have all the seats. We bought one of those, gutted it, built bunks, like painted it all black. It looks super pimp. 8,000 miles into a tour, the engine blows. I'm driving. There's just smoke billowing out. I was going only like 85.
Only.
But, like,
in Texas, that's under the speed limit. Depends on where you are.
so we break down in Murder Creek, Alabama.
That's not the real name. Murder Creek?
It's a real place.
Wow. I'll look that up.
On our way, we actually went to the Ford dealership to go check it out first because something was weird with it that morning before we headed to our show in Houston. So we're going from Atlanta to Houston.
Oh, yeah, you really were going 85 because it was Texas. I was right. See?
Yeah.
The speed limit there is like 100.
It was in Alabama, so we didn't quite get to the 85 yet, but we were probably going about 100 in the van that we had to rent later because we left our bus there after we all hid in the bus so the tow truck could take us 30 miles to the place that was supposed to fix the engine. Anyway, long story short, we made it to the show, but we were back in a van. We had to rent a van, and then we did this crowd fundraiser for we sold a bunch of autographed guitars, and it actually paid for the engine. $26,000 engine, I think it was. Yeah. And so we got a brand new engine, and we were going to pick it up at the very end of the tour.
But
you could take it from here.
Huh. And the engine worked, but so I'm not a car guy, so I don't know exactly what was going on, but basically the engine was pumping out. It was super strong, and it kept blowing this
gasket or something.
Yeah, some tube thing kept
it broke down every 30 miles.
Yeah, so every 30 minutes this thing would pop off, and it would lose all momentum, so we would only go 20 miles an hour
on the freeway.
Nice.
And so it was like a diesel, so it was whenever the turbo kicked in, it would just blow this thing out. So
they got it fixed 3 times on their way to Florida.
Yeah, and then we had to leave it in Pensacola
to get it fixed, hopefully.
Yeah.
Then we finally drove it back 50 miles an hour across the entire country because you couldn't go faster than that. If the gauge went over 3, then the thing would blow off again. So
this is like another math equation that you're doing right now.
It's just, anyways.
Yeah, stupid.
So you got rid of it.
Yeah. We made it back to LA and eventually just had to sell it because we can't go 50 miles an hour on an entire tour forever.
How much did you get for the van after all that?
I think we sold it for like 6 or 7.
Oh,
We
no,
bought it
high
for
five.
14.
Okay. Well,
We told her it does not work.
yeah, it's
I
fine.
wanted it.
Use it for parts.
Yeah, here, I don't know what you're going to do with this thing, but it doesn't work, and take it.
Someone said they're tuning in from the White Mountain Apache tribe in Arizona. That sounds
Oh, wow.
awesome. Whatever that is, that sounds
That is
really
awesome.
cool.
He's from Flagstaff. Well, you lived in Flagstaff for quite a while, Arizona.
Yep.
I saw Scotland in there, too.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Let's see. They're just telling us where they're from:
that-
Illinois, Texas, Cincinnati, Detroit, Texas again. The living room. It's funny. Do you guys have a schedule of when you go live? Because I feel like you do live quite a lot. It seems, which is good because it's always fun. I watch them sometimes.
yeah,
I'm lurking you.
we were doing it on Tuesdays, then we moved things around to Sundays. So most of the times we're doing Sunday whenever we have band practice, because Randy comes out here. It's like an hour and a half. But he's not coming this Sunday, and we just did the live with the monkeys yesterday. So so it's like kind of scattered, and I'm not an organized person. So we just try to do it like once a week, but we never know if it's going to be a Sunday, a Tuesday, a Wednesday.
Do you do like any kind of games with the people that watch, like any kind of trivia or anything like that, or?
No, we're really boring. We just sit there and
I mean,
we have no good ideas. I've given away a bunch of free stuff, but
that's cool. I mean, most people just talk or play. I interviewed the Sumo Psycho from Canada, and they've been doing like trivia games with like their fans, music trivia, and then giving away prizes. So I just thought of that.
That's awesome.
But
yeah.
I have not been playing games with people. I've just been talking to people like you. But at least you guys are fun to talk to. Some of the interviews I've done not that interesting, and some are pretty fun. But you know, that's part of the game. Not every musician can be outgoing. I guess it's like a misconception. You know, some people are really quiet.
We're probably the most introverted of everybody, and I have to be like in the front all the time. But
well, I mean,
biggest...
but we've always had fun. You guys have been over probably like 5 times, I'd say at least 4 or 5 times, and we've always had a good time.
Yeah.
So at least you're comfortable talking to me. I don't know how you are with other like interviewers. I'm gonna look some up on YouTube, see how you are.
Oh God. No, I mean it's been a lot of fun because I've been doing a lot of interviews actually, because as a hermit and a homebody anyway, I don't really like to leave my house, so this makes it easy. The hardest thing is just throwing some eyeshadow on.
Yeah.
Like, I can't look ratchet today.
I put on like 5 shirts, and I was like, no one's gonna even see my shirt. You just see the top of it. But I was like, no, I don't wear that. I put on pants for this interview, and you can't even see my pants. It doesn't matter, just in case.
You don't have to. The next interview you do, just don't wear pants. I won't also, and we'll both just know.
There we go. Well, tomorrow night I'll be on at 4 with a Tropodelic, kind of like reggae, Dirty Head, Sublime type band. So they probably wouldn't care if I wore pants or not. They're probably.
You should tell them that no pants are allowed.
I will, because I don't know those guys, but they're really nice. So the guy Bobby will be on the show, so I'm going to tell him ahead of time, this is the thing I do, because I don't think he's ever watched the show. We just became friends. I'm like, dude, this is a no pants.
Everybody has to come without pants on.
This is true. And all the viewers won't have pants either. You just won't be able to see them. But
yes,
everyone knows.
Viewers, take your pants off right now.
And follow me at DJ Rossstar. We're not wrapping up yet, but just everybody watching, if you want to keep getting updates about who's going to be on this show. Like I said, I started doing it again in March. I didn't do this for like 3 years, and so far I had who was on this? Ataris, Less Than Jake, Mest, Get Up Kids, Ballyhoo. It's hard to think off the top of my head now, but they're all on YouTube, so you can look up DJ Rossstar on YouTube, and you can also look up DJ Rossstar Stitched Up Hard. You'll find our interview from 2016.
Oh my gosh! Don't look it up.
It's a good one from Meltdown Comics.
How do you know everybody though? Like, how do you meet all the people from Less Than Jake and Mest and all, like, how do you know everyone?
Well, it's weird. So when I grew up in New York, I was just like a fan of pop punk, and I would go to shows like Mest and Less Than Jake and Real Big Fish, and I was just a fanboy. You know, I'd wait to meet them after and get pictures, like a regular music fan. And then when I got to college, I was just I don't know. I guess I was good at BSing. I convinced Drive Thru Records to start letting me interview their artists, and they would either call in. I was out in Maryland at college, or sometimes they would have them come into the studio. A couple of bands like Homegrown, they did the show in studio, and I just went from there and just kept networking. And some of the bands I would reach out and say, hey, you know, I've met you before as a fan. Now I have this college radio show. Would you consider doing an interview with me? And I don't know, I guess hopefully I think I'm a nice guy. And so some people kept in touch through the years, and some people I never saw again. Who knows? I posted the other day on Instagram. I have like a wall here of all the albums I've been thanked in that I know of, like all the liner notes. And to me, that was like one of the coolest things I accomplished, being just like a fan of music, no family. You know, my dad did real estate, had nothing to do with entertainment. And so I have like a wall here. There's like a Pierce the Veil record I'm thanked in, Bayside, Newfound Glory, Senses Fail. So that was one of those, for me, moments like, wow, I feel like I actually, even though I didn't make it to Carson Daly level, of course, like I feel like I accomplished something that I never thought I'd do, you know, that people would actually want to watch the show.
That's super inspiring too, because that just like, you know, when we go out on the road and there's like a couple interviews throughout the day, I always like kind of try to take the time with the kid that's got the really horrible recording equipment, and you know, like maybe he's using his phone or something like that, and it just you're kind of living proof that going from just being a fan of the bands, going to the shows and wanting to be a part of it in some way, that you can actually build it into something pretty cool and like get to actually talk to the bands that you like all the time.
Yeah, it was cool. I think Newfound Glory helped me out the most. I started the show in 2002, which is surprising since I'm only 25, but you know, so I'm just kidding. So yeah, so
I'm 21. So
yeah, 18 years ago I started the show in college, and I went to see Newfound Glory play, and I waited to meet them after, and I did have my little tape recorder, and I said, hey, I've been a fan of yours now for like 5 years. I have the show, and that was like right when they became MTV big, them in Good Charlotte, even though Good Charlotte ended up being way bigger, but. So they were like, oh, we'll do this interview with you. And because I had that one done, I was able to reach out to MXPX's team and Bowling for Soup's team. And they'd say, oh, well, who have you interviewed? Oh, Newfound Glory. And they'd say, oh, okay, well, you must be legit. So sometimes it just takes that like one good interview, just like with a band, maybe that one good show opening up, you know, or like, you know,
yeah, it's the same thing with us. Like we went on tour with Godsmack last year, and Hailstorm in This Moment, New Year's Day the year before that. So we gained all this like, I guess it gives you some sort of street cred, even though we're not going to pack arenas at this point, but it's still really cool. You kind of get that notoriety by just like any job that you do.
Yeah.
If you work with a certain person or a client, then you can kind of say like, hey, I was working with them on this. And I don't know, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, and like I said, not every artist I've interviewed went on to do anything. Some people were never heard from again, but you know, some of them people early on, you guys came over pretty early on, and New Year's Day, Ash came on, I think the first year they existed, and same thing with I Am Ghost and Hailstorm. They came on my show in like 2013. Katy Perry came over before she even had an album out, so you just never know.
Aww.
You never know who's going to make it and who's not, but, you know, that's why I always try to mix it up. I have somebody I knew that I wanted, and then somebody I'd never heard of, but now I'm just kind of doing this for fun, so like I said, I'm just reaching out so far to people I like that I already know, and then some new bands mixed in. Like tomorrow, I don't know Tropodelic, but they're pretty funny guys just talking through Instagram, so hopefully that'll be a good one. And then other bands I've liked for years, I've gotten a chance to interview, and I won't name names, and they weren't even that exciting. So I was like, oh man, it bummed me out. Like my whole life I waited to do an interview, and I couldn't because they weren't in LA, and then it was just kind of like, I was like looking at my watch. But you guys, I can't believe it's almost over already. See how fast this goes when we talk?
I see a question that I kind of want to
yeah, please
where
do.
Did
please.
you first get noticed? Do you remember when you first got approached by a label? Is it almost an hour?
No, you got 4
we got
minutes.
6 minutes. Oh,
well, it kicks you off. It'll tell you when on the top. It'll say like 60 seconds.
All right. So before we say goodbye, so I actually stalked the label that I wanted to be a part of for a while, for about 5 years. I just basically bugged the crap out of them until they finally signed us, and now. We're still with the management and stuff, and the people that we worked with from the beginning when we first got signed. To this day, we still work with them. The labels have been moved around and stuff, but really it was all just persistence and tenacity and working really hard and kind of proving yourself over and over and over and over and over and over again.
Yep, and I mean, like I said, I think you're doing pretty good. You're still around, and that's a plus right there.
Somehow.
You know, you're still doing it, and you're on all these big tours. I mean, they didn't happen this year, but like you said, hopefully they will, and you will be on it again next year.
Yeah, I mean, like the rock family is all one big happy family. Like we're all going to end up touring with each other. It's kind of like we all know each other. So eventually we're going to tour with all of our friends at some point. We just
Exactly. You got to be nice to
encourage
everybody. You can't talk trash about anyone because it's such a small world, you know?
Yeah.
Not like you two are trash talkers. I know you're not, but, you know. Other
I
people
talk
do.
shit about Merritt all the time.
Well, that's
all the
okay.
time.
Yeah, he's
All
such
the
a jerk.
So we do have a minute left. So really quick before we go, I want to thank you guys, of course, for hanging out with me again. And hopefully I'll be able to physically see you one day when we're allowed to like hang out and like leave our apartments. I guess in Riverside you can leave your apartment, but here it's like a little iffy. But everybody watching, please follow me at DJ Rossstar, and I'll be here tomorrow again with Tropodelic. And anything you guys want to say, you have the floor. Minute to go.
Just go follow our socials. We got a bunch of new music on Spotify, a new album called Darkness that just came out in March, and a bunch of YouTube videos and all that stuff.
And you will be live, not this Sunday or Tuesday, but you'll be back.
We'll be live at some point when, like, once a week, but we'll decide later when that will be.
It'll happen, though. And hopefully
Yeah.
you'll keep going live even when you're allowed to go back on tour. Maybe this will be our new thing, you know, when we're allowed back in the world. I want to keep doing it now, too, even when I can't go back out and do stuff. Uh-oh. You may never be live ever again. But for now, you will be. You got at least another 3-4 months doing this. So I hope you enjoy it because I have fun doing it, too. Thank you guys so much. I'm going to go before they kick us off. This will be on my page right now on IGTV, and we'll put it on YouTube tonight. And don't listen to these guys. Go to YouTube and look up Rossstar Stitched Apart. Watch the interview from 2016. It was good. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Thank you. Have a good night, guys.